Huzur Maharaj Channan Singh Ji's spiritual history. People from Saidpur requested Maharaj Savan Singh Ji of Dera Beas to bless the Sangat at Saidpur. Maharaj Savan Singh Ji saw the Sangat's love and devotion and blessed them with satsang. Then Maharaj Savan Singh Ji visited Saidpur and delivered satsang. After listening to the satsang, the Sangat lovingly requested Maharaj Savan Singh Ji to bless the souls with Nam Dan. After seeing the love of the Sangat, Maharaj Savan Singh Ji accepted the request and told them that he would bless them with Nam Dan at 4 o'clock in the morning at the Gurudwara. He told Baba Channan Singh Ji to sit close to his chair. Baba Channan Singh Ji was at that time called Bhagat Channan Singh. After receiving Nam, Baba Channan Singh Ji asked Maharaj Savan Singh Ji that some people say that Radhaswamis put musical instruments in their head. Maharaji laughed and said that we will hear these sounds from inside our head during our meditation. After listening to Maharaj Savan Singh Ji, Baba Channan Singh Ji went home and started to meditate. After some time during the meditation, his soul passed through the stars and planets. Baba Channan Singh Ji felt the sweetness and asked his father for permission to go to Baba Savan Singh Ji and do seva. His father accepted his request and said, "Son, go there and do the seva by your heart. If you would need anything, I will provide it." Baba Channan Singh Ji's father was a doctor and farmer as well. He got the permission from his father and went to Beas. There he met Maharaji during darshan and he approached him and bowed at his feet. Huzur Maharaj Savan Singh Ji asked, "Son, have you come to me?" Baba Channan Singh Ji answered, "I came to Dera with your blessing and want to do seva." Then Huzur Maharaji said, "If you want to do seva, then you have to go to Sarsi Sirkandarpur." It was in the month of April and a lot of the Sangat was going to Sarsi Sirkandarpur to harvest the grain, and Baba Channan Singh Ji went with the Sangat. After the harvest seva, Huzur Maharaj Savan Singh Ji gave Parsad and gave the permission to the Sangat to go back home, but Baba Channan Singh Ji denied to go back home and requested Maharaj Savan Singh Ji that he wanted to do seva permanently. Then Huzur Maharaj Savan Singh Ji started to laugh loudly and said, "Very nice, son, be strong and do seva in the fields like they are your own fields." Then Baba Channan Singh Ji was for a long time doing seva by his heart. Then Huzur Maharaj Savan Singh Ji was very happy with Baba Channan Singh Ji and gave him the name Chowdhury. Maharaj Ji used to say that he was very happy with Baba Channan Singh Ji's seva. One day, Baba Savan Pacha Ji asked, "Chowdhury, do you only want to plow or do you also want to see something inside?" Then Baba Channan Singh Ji requested Huzur Maharaj Savan Singh Ji that only you can show me that. Huzur Maharaj Savan Singh Ji told him that if you want to see something inside, you have to do meditation. Baba Channan Singh Ji then requested, "If you want me to do meditation, please give me a separate room in the garden so that I can do both meditation and seva." Before Baba Channan Singh Ji would go to meditation, he would do his seva and was also looking after the animals. There was another sevadar who was also doing seva with him. All the sevadars loved and cared about each other. One of the sevadars' name was Spritual, and he was from Vadala and loved Maharaj Savan Singh Ji very much. Whenever he got free time after Seva, he went to Baba Channan Singh Ji and they sat together and talked about the loving words of God. One night it got very dark and he asked Maharaj Savan Singh Ji, "How can I go back home when it's so dark?" Then Maharaj Savan Singh Ji said, "You can be here with me because I have a big bed." Then Pritam Singh decided to stay that night. When Pritam Singh rested, he heard a lot of sounds, inner sounds. Then Baba Channan Singh Ji told him that this is the sound of the Shabad Onkar. You must listen to it every day because Maharaji gives you the blessings of Shabad. From the beginning there was a lot of blessing from Maharaj Savan Singh Ji to Baba Channan Singh Ji. Whoever talked lovingly about Maharaji could hear the Shabad within himself. Baba Channan Singh Ji was very dedicated and would sit in meditation whenever he was free from Seva. When he sat in bhajan in the afternoon, a snake came and settled in his lap. Then, when the Sevadar saw this miracle and told Baba Channan Singh Ji, "Babaji, when you do bhajan, then a snake comes and settles down in your lap and rests." One day Maharaji saw the snake resting when he opened his eyes after samadhi. The snake went away when Maharaji coughed. Baba Channan Singh Ji told Maharaji about this miracle. Then Maharaji said, "The snake is not going to harm you. He comes to you only because he gets peace and calmness when you do bhajan." The satsangis know about Baba Channan Singh Ji because of this incident. That is why the satsangis respected Babaji. Whenever Babu Bhutta Singh Ji went for a Langar Seva at Dera Byas, then Maharaj Savan Singh Ji always asked Babu Bhutta Singh, "Why is his son not coming to Dera?" Babu Bhutta Singh Ji said, "He is not my son, he is your son. He has come to become a sadhu. Make him a sadhu." Then Maharaji answered, "We will send him back as sadhu." Baba Channan Singh Ji did bhajan and seva continuously for 8 years and got Maharaj Savan Singh Ji's daya and happiness. After Maharaji's hukam will, he went back to the village Saidpur. When Baba Channan Singh Ji came back to Saidpur, he came in the company of Baba Teja Singh Ji because Baba Teja Singh Ji was also a complete saint and did bhajan, simran at Saidpur. After that, Baba Channan Singh Ji and Baba Teja Singh Ji went to Dera Byas for seva at Bandara. They had a lot of love and respect for each other because of their brotherhood. Whenever Baba Channan Singh Ji sat in bhajan, he would see Maharaj Savan Singh Ji's sarup and sometimes Baba Teja Singh Ji's sarup. This happened continuously for a long time, and Baba Channan Singh Ji's faith got stronger in Baba Teja Singh Ji because he had seen from within that Baba Teja Singh Ji and Maharaj Savan Singh Ji looked the same and were one. That's why Baba Channan Singh Ji always lived in Baba Teja Singh Ji's company. When Maharaj Savan Singh Ji passed away, Baba Channan Singh Ji declared that Baba Teja Singh Ji was a complete guru. Baba Channan Singh Ji requested Baba Teja Singh Ji to give satsang and the blessings of Nam Dhan to the souls. Then Baba Teja Singh Ji started to give satsang. He told Baba Channan Singh Ji that he would do bhajan for 1 hour and that Baba Teja Singh Ji would do satsang after that. It was done like this in the future and the souls got the blessings of Nam Dhan. That's why the whole family loved Baba Teja Singh very much. When Bhai Nirajan Singh, brother of Maharaj Savan Singh Ji, passed away, then Babaji family went to Baba Teja Singh Ji and Baba Teja Singh Ji said that your brother has now passed away and I'm ready to go now. And he asked Baba Channan Singh Ji to take over the responsibility because he was returning to Sachkhand. Baba Channan Singh Ji replied that he has the order of Maharaj Savan Singh Ji to do bhajan at him. His order is that I should not go to or live in any dera. Your home is your dera. You can ask Maharaj Savan Pacha Ji about this order from your within. After this, Baba Teja Singh Ji went in Samadhi and came out after 45 minutes and said that he is right, that your home is your dera. Then Baba Channan Singh Ji swore that I'm not going to drink water unless I see the Sarupa Maharaj Savan Singh Ji. At that time, Prakash Singh, who was Baba Teja Singh Ji's secretary, Bibi Rani, Bibi Raki, and a lot of the Sangat were present. Prakash Singh always told about this incident to the Sangat and told that Baba Teja Singh Ji used to tell Baba Channan Singh, I have also done bhajan and simran, but the blessing you have received from Maharaj Savan Singh Ji after doing seva is special daya or blessing. There is no comparison with that blessing. Prakash Singh used to say that he got very surprised after hearing that. Baba Channan Singh Ji respected Baba Teja Singh Ji a lot. Prakash Singh Ji said, I wondered at that time what kind of will this is of Maharaji. We got to know about that when Baba Channan Singh Ji appeared as complete Guru. After Baba Teja Singh Ji passed away, Baba Channan Singh Ji did all his bhajan at home. One day, Maharaj Savan Singh Ji blessed him and told Baba Channan Singh Ji that he can start giving satsang and nam dan to the souls and see what happens in future. Then Baba Channan Singh Ji started to give satsang and nam dan. At the same time, Maharaj Savan Singh Ji started to send these souls to Samadhi in complete meditation. Prakash Singh often talked about this incident. When Prakash Singh sat opposite Baba Channan Singh Ji, then he sometimes saw Baba Teja Singh Ji's Sarup and sometimes Baba Channan Singh Ji's Sarup. After watching that, he took his family to Baba Channan Singh Ji, and until now they are all living in Dera Saipur.